In previous lessons, we created a layout and we applied that layout to modify some of the formatting settings for one of the reports. In this lesson, we just want to show that we can actually modify the layout that we created. We can change some settings, and of course, also what's interesting is that we can apply this layout to more than one report. So we will apply this to another report. Let's open the path here for the report writer to modify our standard layout. So we will start transaction GR12, and of course we need to enter the ID of our standard layout. Okay. If you remember, we modified some of the parameters, some of the length for the columns, but now, for example, we can also, for the lead column, we can also modify what can be shown. Let's say that instead of the description, now we want just the key. So that is also possible. And for example, I mean, with columns, we could maybe modify also the width of the other columns. Let's say maybe we want this to 20. And now let's have a look at the, for example, the headings. Maybe we don't want them center. We want them, let's say, left justified. And as you probably remember from some of the times we have like created some reports in some of the previous lessons, and we have just executed the report. We had some fields that just had like a 0 value, and it was just shown as an empty field. But we could, for example, say we want this assigned like the minus sign, so it's a bit more clear that they are just like empty. So for example, we will also set that up. And I mean, again, we can modify the scaling, decimal places. Maybe let's also change this to 3. We can modify so many things. But right now, that is what we want. So let's save the changes for our standard layout. And now we just want to apply this to another report or to a different report. So well, let's close report writer, and in report painter, let's run the transaction for change. Now, actually, we want to apply this to the last one that we created, to 003, the third version of the sixth report that we have created. So let's just double click on this one. And if you remember, well, we need to come to the report header settings. So let's just click edit, and let's click report header. Okay, for the standard layout, we no longer want the standard SAP, so let's use the match code, and of course let's apply our own. Okay, after we have done that, let's just click continue. As you know, well, the system first of all actually will say, do you really want to make this change? When we actually press yes. So just compare what we have right now in the screen, and let's now click yes. So immediately we see the difference. Okay, again, interestingly enough, we have just one standard layout, but we can use it in multiple reports. So, well, let's just save and execute, so we can just see we can see in the screen the change in the report when we run this, which of course is what the end user will actually see. Let's wait for it to finish the compiling. Now let's just run this. And as you can see, it was because that was the section the repository that we have open. Remember, these are report groups, so we have multiple reports. But the only one which we did the change for was for the third one. And as you can see, it's now very clear. We had just the key. In the last line, this is a group that we didn't explode. That's the reason we have the personal expenses text. But what's important is for all of the other, we only have the key. And as you can see also, for any field, not even just in actual, but also, for example, in plan, or just here in the other sections, when we don't have now a value, it is now shown as just with this like minus sign, this dash, just so we know exactly what's happening. So again, interesting things. We can modify a lot of the settings for the layouts, and we can apply just one layout to multiple reports. That is definitely a given. So let's quit this report. And with this, we finish the lesson, inviting you to keep learning with all of our trainings.